Hello, welcome to a very special episode of the Chicken Noodle Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Campbell, and I believe it is episode 71. 71. You know what happens after 71. 72, I come in here with an ambe vest, and I up to Allah, and I get to have my way. 71, nothing really happens. 71 is the age where hopefully you're retired. But not in this economy, am I right? No. 71 doesn't really mean much to me. But like I said, 72, I come in here, shook. I go up there with the big man, and I have my way. I start having my way. So, hopefully, maybe you can join me, and maybe you'll be with me next episode, whatever. Anyways, like I said, pleasure to be glad you've decided to join me today. We've got business as usual around here in the Stoods. Let's see what's back. What's back in style right now? Race wars. You been on X lately? Have you been on most social medias lately? Do they want you to just hate your brother? Do they want you to hate your sister? And do they want you to hate, the other people? Yes, they do. But you got to stay true to yourself and the Lord. And you must not hate. Hate's not good for your heart. I keep hating my heart. I know it's not good, but I like to be on the edge a little bit. Because as Goggins says, life's one big head game. You're playing it with yourself. And so I like to play that head game and have a little hate in my heart. There's some people that if I saw in person, that hate's going to come out. It's going to be oozing out of my ears. It's going to be oozing out of my ears, right? Now, having said all that, what do I mean race wars are back? The WNBA is back. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, back. WNBA kicked off. The Chicago Sky, I think, is where Angel Reese plays. Indiana Fever, our white queen, Caitlin Clark. They battled, opened up the season, the WNBA season. Right? And they were going at each other. Caitlin Clark triple-double on them hoes. Triple-dubski. Tripski-dubski on them hoes. Right? Angel Reese sucks. Listen, could she back me down in the post? Probably. She's bigger size than I am. She's bigger bone than I am. But would I break her ankles? I don't know. But I could definitely, I could beat her in something. All right? It's not the point. So Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, Angel Reese couldn't handle that Caitlin Clark was in the spotlight and people were watching the WNBA because of her. There's a famous clip where Angel Reese is like, people, it's not just because of one person people are watching the WNBA. It's because of me too. And it's like, hey, sweetie, no, it's not. Like some of you fellas out there, when your wife says, oh, does this make me look, this makes me look, and you say, sweetie, no, it's not. That's what you want to say, but you don't because you understand how marriage works, what women want to hear. So they're back. And it's really a wonderful thing because Angel Reese is the Fever blew the doors off of the Sky. They blew the doors off of them. But that's good. You like to see that with an organization like the Fever, how they didn't have it Caitlin Clark came, she showed out, but their team didn't make it far in the postseason. Well, you have this wonderful once-in-a-generation talent on your team. What do? You build around them. So when you see someone successfully do that, it's refreshing as a sports fan. You're like, oh, some owners do care, especially WNBA owners that don't have their heads up their own anus because they don't make much money probably in the first place, right? So it's probably easier to say that in the WNBA because everyone wants a Caitlin Clark because they want to go ka-ching. They want to put butts in the seats. Oop, ka-ching. Oop, ka-ching. Oop, ka-ching. That's probably what hookers feel like on Tuesday nights. Oop, ka-ching. Oop, ka-ching. So, hopefully the Fever have a good season. I'll be rooting for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not going to apologize for anything, really. I'm not going to apologize for watching the WNBA when Caitlin Clark started playing. I know there's a lot of WNBA purists, a.k.a. incels and female incels, or a.k.a. people that played in the WNBA, or whatever you want to call them, that are like, oh, all these people, it's because it's like, yeah, hey, if LeBron wasn't playing in the NBA, there's a lot of seasons I wouldn't have been watching, just so you know. Because I want to see talent at the highest level in the sport. I don't want to watch crumb bums, right? I don't want to watch crumb bums. I want to watch people bone people. I want to watch Brian Scalabrine bone someone, right? Shout out Scalabrines. Let's see, where do I want to go? Going to have... So anyways, WNBA is back. Oh, so Caitlin Clark, Angel... Sorry. I was almost moving on to the thing. We got to circle back. We're painting a picture right now with all of our extra arms. We got to circle back real quick. Caitlin Clark says Angel Reese is going up for a shot, and Caitlin Clark just, she's like, I know all the stuff you've been saying, but she's not deaf. She knows if one of her colleagues is talking that ish, because honestly, she was getting beat up last year. People were fouling the mess out of her. People can't handle when a young gun comes into the spotlight. When I show up to, a job, right? Any jobs I have, there's an older guy, that's, lost a step. When I show up, I'm a young gun, baby. I'm a young gun. I come out firing, son. And I work circles around people, right? They don't like that because they realize that they're not young anymore and they haven't upkept their body enough to keep up with me. How long is mine going to last? Who knows? Probably forever because I'm a coffin dodger. Okay? Get that straight. So she knows what she's been saying. So she goes up for a shot and Caitlin Clark just whack! Flagrant. We got a race war starting at the baseline. And my phone is over there charging, but I will say the quote is as Angel Reese is trying to, the thing, hold me back. Oh, you better be lucky to hold me back. She's like, oh, you really crazy as hell. You crazy as F. You really be like that. And Caitlin's like, MJ shrug, Kobe shrug. So, race wars are back. WNBA is back. It's all good. It's nice when things get a little, it's nice. Like I said, with the hate in my heart, it makes me live on the edge. Now, of course, it's probably only true in sports, though. Maybe only in some sports, honestly. What is it though? I mean, we've hashed this out on the pod before. Luka Doncic. He's the great white hope. Okay, Steve Nash, great white hope. They couldn't, do things. I mean, Luka's gotten fat, but Steve Nash. I mean, he wasn't a high flyer. He was, the white basketball players usually technical guys. I'm gonna dribble this and I'm gonna shoot, but. Whatever, you get what I'm saying? So, it's fun to watch. And I guess that's where we'll leave that. If you have anything you would like to send into the podcast, send an email to chickennoodlepodcast@gmail.com. Greatly appreciate. There, I'm going to go have a baby here soon, shortly. Had to squeeze this in because I didn't get to last weekend for reasons. This is my business, not yours. And I honestly don't remember what I was doing, but there was something going on. And anyway, so gonna go to the hospital and go have a baby. So that's cool, right? And there's something that is, how do I feel about having a child? Of course, I love having this child. This is, all of it's been, great. I have a wonderful wife. I have a wonderful daughter. I'm going to have another wonderful daughter. I have a great family. And to think, if I would have never gotten sober off of them things, them 30-30s, that Ron, that ice ball, that Zanny family, that Adaruski, that Vivian scene, that smorgasbords of opes, that Mary Jewski, just a woman smoking a joint with a big ass beak. Mary Jewski. This pot costs too much. Whatever. So that's the kind of comedy I do. So yeah. Anyways, I would never have any of that stuff. And now I have everything I've ever wanted. And as the pastor at church said today, a minor inconvenience can derail my day. But I haven't really had any of those today. If I have had, it's been subsided because having a child. Here's the thing that's interesting about having a child is all the animalistic stuff that comes with it. Because we are cave people, right? We just figured out how to speak. My brother Chop, my brother Black Birch, that I interviewed. He told me when I was young that, hey, words are just words. Like kumki kuma could have meant in the past, go F yourself. And that always stuck with me. So I always think kumki kuma could have meant go F yourself. Now, he told me that, and it had significance at the time, and I feel like it doesn't have significance now, but that's okay. But all the animalistic stuff that comes with having a child is very interesting, because, people say, oh, you're glowing. What the hell does that even mean? People can tell when women especially, probably mostly just women. Women can tell when other women are pregnant without them showing. And no, not because they're not on their 4th or 5th glass of Sauvignon Blanc at the winery, okay? Not because they're at the winery just to eat the cheese, okay? They can just tell just by looking at them. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. My wife, we're at a fair, and we're very recently pregnant. This girl saw my wife. They were chatting for a second, and she said, "Oh, you're pregnant." And I mean, we had known for like a couple weeks. Wife wasn't showing at all. She hadn't gained a drop. And I was like, dang. Ice Cube and Chris Tucker meme. So yeah, what is that? I don't know what it is, but it's nothing that you can see. I mean, sure, maybe it's something that, the women see, but it's all one of these, isn't it? It's all one of these telepathy skis. Another animalistic thing about the pregnancy is of course, my protectiveness, but that also kind of just comes with being the man of the house. And since I'm going to have another, daughter, I have to be the man of the house till I'm dead. And I don't know how I'm going to navigate that when my daughters get older and I try to teach them how to be the man of the house. Because when I'm not here, who's going to be holding down the fort? Someone's going to come in and loot me for all my salt and pepper. We went to war about it when we were first in existence. Why wouldn't we go to war about it now? We're just to the point, instead of going to war over spices, we can ask our neighbor for a cup of sugar. Okay? And if you can't go ask your neighbor for a cup of sugar, hey, one of you is a bitch. How about that? If you can't go ask your neighbor right now for a cup of sugar, hey, they might be a bitch. Or you may be the bitch. Just so you know. Shout out all my neighbors that are probably very obsessed with me and watch every move I make. What the times that we are in where you can't go ask for a cup of sugar, what is that? We used to go to war over it. So, anyways, what kind of other animalistic stuff off the top of my, head can I think of? That may be the two moves for right now. It's just, they say, what's up with, they say, oh, when the baby comes out, the baby looks like the man or the husband, whatever, so that way the husband doesn't leave. And I don't know if I buy that, but it makes sense, because back in the day, when men were just having their way, when cavemen were just having their way with cave women, and there was multiple cavemen having their way with multiple women, when the women would come have the baby, all the cavemen would be around and be like, all right, which one of us does it look like? And I don't know how they figured that out, because they all had, stuff going on up here. They're not well-kept people. So yeah, sure, that maybe makes sense to me. But I don't know if that's true. So we're going to go have a baby. It's going to be great. And I just remember, I know some people, hey, what's up with you people that pass out when you have a child? Hey, I've had one, and I was there. Hey, guess what? I was on my feet the whole time, huh? What's up with these people that pass out? What's going on? Hey, do you have some underlying issues that you need to work out? Hey, it's all good. I've been there too, and I've cranked them out. And sure, I still have intrusive thoughts that haunt me at night, but I can remain on my 2 feet when my wife pops a child out. Huh? What is your deal? What would you do? I can remain on my 2 feet when my wife is pushing over a house, but when the tables are turned and you're in that situation, you end up upside down with your head on the ground and your feet in the air. Now, how does that make much sense? You got to know. I flip a switch. I tell my wife all the time, listen, if we're in a bind, I say, listen, don't worry about me. I can flip the switch and go into mercenary mode. Okay? I can not eat for days. I can drink water sparingly, but I'm going to need it because water. But I can flip a switch and go into mercenary mode. You give me a little ice mountain bottle, I'll nurse that sucker. You won't hear a peep out of me for years. All right? I can keep that switch on for years. Flip, mercenary mode, balaclava on. So, all you men out there need to have this switch that you flip and go into mercenary mode. Hey, my wife's popped out a child. Hey, instead of fainting, I need to be on all twos. And I need to see which one of these slick mother truckers is going to run through this door and try and take my child. And I'm going to have to, tackle them. Rip their throat out. I got to cut the umbilical cord ski, don't I? I don't remember if I did that with my first daughter. So, stay on all twos. You got to be alert. Flip the switch into mercenary mode and make things happen. Because you want to be the type of man, you want to be the type of father, you want to be the type of husband that can make things happen. Isn't it easier that way? When your wife is yapping up a storm. Hey, it's a lot easier to cool down that yapping when you can make things happen. Oh, okay, yes. All right, 1 second. Make things happen. So, I plan on, I will be on 2 feet when my daughter is born, and I will be there, and I will be taken in the moment, though. Because, honestly, the biggest cliche that there is, and I hate to do this to you guys, but the time just flies, doesn't it? The time just flies, and, I just always am checking my current daughter, my daughter that's not inside a stomach right now. I always check her height, and I'm always, looking back at pictures, doing the sappy parent stuff, but, I'm not outputting that on anyone like some people do. If it's family, that's completely okay. That's how it's supposed to be, but not just a random civilian. But it just all goes. And so, this could possibly be our last child. So I didn't know if I was going to have another child after I had, first one. And so now you just, you got to take it in. You got to take it in because it goes by. This will be the first time we do this, the first time we do that. But really, like my brother Carson said, Mom, let's just live in the moment. I don't want to have to keep taking pictures for you. And there's something to be said about that also. Because moms love to take pictures. So, what else am I going to be doing there? There's not really much. As a husband, it's like one of those weird scenarios where as the husband of the woman in the room that is going through something, no one's really looking at you, right? You're there for morale support. And of course, I need my this. And then you, okay, get that. Got it. And they're like, that's not what I want. It goes back to what cavemen would do, Cavemen would, bring something, and they say no, and but they want that sniz. We know how that goes. We covered that. But yeah, they're not looking at you. The only reason they're gonna look at you is if you are not well and you need to be escorted out. Other than that, they have their own thing going on. So you're just kind of standing there. You're just kind of standing there with your piece in your hand, and you're just like, what do I do? I don't need to use this. I already did that about 9 months ago, didn't I? Okay. And so you just kind of chill there. So don't know what I'm going to do, but whatever. Okay. Moving on. So there is a town. I thought this was interesting. Don't you just love when I find something interesting? There's a town in Poland. I didn't write down the name of it, but there's a town in Poland with 6,000 people that live on the same street. And For those of you that don't, I mean, this is all, I get an idea, I write it down. Occasionally, I will try and think about what I'm going to say about it, but I think it's better, it sharpens me up a little bit if I just go off the tizzy, off the dizzy, fizzy, skizzy. And I just thought that was so interesting, like, and it's just crazy to look at. I'm like, man, like, if that's not, what they say, small world, small town, everyone knows what's going on in a small town. I mean, that would just be, I think that I would enjoy that because I'm always looking for my wisteria lane. Where I live now is not really that. And that's no one's fault to anyone else. Maybe I'm a bitch. But it's not the same. It's not like it was on Desperate Housewives, right? No one's having a bake sale to pay for, Christina's, big toe surgery because she fell in the yard. She was trying to pot the plants to win the annual yard off, the annual flower garden off, or what, you know what I'm saying. Bad analogy, but you get the picture. So no one's doing that. And honestly, I don't really probably have time for it, even if I, would want to do that. But, it's not like it's, there's no more latchkey kids. Not even, latchkey, but like, it's just not, ideally what I would like out of a subdivision. But honestly, I've got other fish to fry, so I'm not really too concerned about it. But if I had 6,000 people on the street, there would never be a dull day. Talk about door-to-door salesman, you could just go, if you were just, I don't know, just the easy access of this town, you could, I feel like, clean up, right? If there was a whole bunch of, you could just go door to door and just, one after another, oops, knock, knock, hello, it's me, rack-a-cack-cack, brack-a-cack-cack, all right, let's go to the net, let's, walk down the street. And you'd be like, I'm going home, it was great, thank you. And they'd be like, oh, no, won't you stay? Like, no, I got things to, do at home. And then you'd be like, yeah, I just live, next door. Then you go next door and whatever. Maybe that's not the take. Maybe that's not the proper take on that place. You'd never run out of sugar. I'll tell you that much. You can go door to door out of 6,000 people. There's someone that's got a cup of sugar. Maybe this is one I should have had something to say on. Whatever. Joe Bideskis. Oh, poor Joe Bideskis. The old man, he's diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. Let us all take a minute to appreciate that we don't have cancer of the anus. Because if you have cancer of the anus, how are you ever supposed to let anyone stick anything inside you anymore? Huh? How are you ever supposed to let someone stab your anus if you've got cancer in it? The answer is you can, because that's immoral, and it's just not right. Because I don't think you can pass cancer like that, but something just doesn't feel right about it. So shout out to him. Prayers go out to Joe Bidesky for dealing with, and the fact that someone wrote this article and they wrote the word aggressive prostate cancer, like, just say prostate cancer. But I tell you what, the aggressive did catch my eye, didn't it? So I do see what they were getting at. So that is That's what I know as of right now. I guess the only other thing to do really is to tell all of you that I appreciate all of the listens all the time. I appreciate all the listens, and if you want to share this podcast with a friend, that's great. If not, whatever. I don't ask you to like and subscribe because the hell am I? Who the hell am I? You know? I don't care if you do that or not. If you watch it, cool. Hope you enjoy it. Hope I'm silly enough for you. Hope I'm enough of a clown for you that I've entertained you a little bit. Okay? I just like and subscribe ruins a video. And it maybe sound like I'm being hypocritical, but this is just a talking point I had. I've never said that once on any of my stuff because who am I? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy passing through. You know what I mean? I'm not like out here like yippee-ki-yay, just absolutely obliterate that, like button like you obliterate your wife after having too many beers. I don't say that kind of stuff, right? Mash that subscribe button as hard as you want to mash a pillow over your in-law's face. I don't say that kind of stuff. Believe it takes it out of what I'm trying to do here, and that's get you into a trance, and you take the ride with me, and you let me strap you in. All aboard! And then you let me guide your thoughts. You let me lead your thoughts. So, with all that being said, it's truly a privilege that I'm, it's a blessing that I am here. And I don't know what I don't know why maybe the reason is, but your boy's highly favored. And I love that, I'm highly favored. I can't really go anything farther than that. And I'm trying to thread the needle right now. And maybe I'm just rambling. So, with all of this being said, make sure that if you have a dream, you chase it. And if you are addicted to drugs, you can get off of them. And if you are addicted to sex, God bless, but you probably need to stop that before you get cancer of the cock. And if you are addicted to food, there is hope for you. And if you are addicted to porn, I promise there is hope. And if you are addicted to making money, God bless. If you get off whenever zeros hit your bank account, God bless. And I don't just mean you like to do it. I mean, if when you see ones and zeros hit your bank account and you literally go, God bless. Because I've watched people intravenously use jugs and immediately bust in their pants. It's disgusting. I've never done that. We've covered that. Get with the prog-ski. So I want, if you really see it and blow your load, then God bless. But if you're just like, oh, I just love making money, you're probably a greedy pig. So, all of this being said, love God, whatever that is to you. Pray to Him. You probably need more God in your life, whatever that even means. What is God? I believe in it, but I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll find out one day. Be a good person and go run a mile. Builds character. God bless.